Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, I of course am the FPL Train, where on this channel we talk all the things fantasy football, and in today's video we are going to be talking transfer plans ahead of game week 12, where of course it's going to be the same as always, 3 transfers we're going to be looking at, 1 defender, 1 midfielder and 1 striker. But before that, it's always fun to look back on the previous transfers I recommended in game week 11. And starting us off, we've got Kirkes of Bournemouth, 4.4 million defender. You know, placed Bournemouth, had a decent return in game week 10 against Man City, getting those 10 pointers. And I said, you know what, fixtures going forward for him are pretty decent. It's worth looking at getting him in, especially with him being 4.4 million and he starts week in, week out. Played Brentford, and you know, Brentford just do like to score goals. Put it that way, that's it. Brentford loves to score goals and they didn't stop again. So Bournemouth conceded 3 goals in this game and he only came away with a single point. So it was an absolute disaster if you brought him in. But I still, you know, reckon if you did get him, keep him, because the fixtures long term, they're not actually that bad for Bournemouth. Look, are Bournemouth going to be keeping clean sheets week in, week out? No, they're not. If you look at them this season, I think they've only kept, like, have they kept a clean sheet? I think 1 clean sheet I'm looking at so far this season they've kept. So, oh God, that isn't as good as I remember. So, they've only kept 1 clean sheet this season, which isn't great, but the fixtures are decent. And maybe you're not going for, you know, clean sheets week in, week out if you're going for it. Maybe you're just hoping for an attacking return this season, which you can't blame him, but he is 4.4 million, so he is dirt cheap. So that is something, you know, to consider. He starts week in, week out, so hopefully that does turn around again soon and he starts smashing it like he did against Man City. Anthony Gordon up next, and another one that did also blank. Only got 2 points from him. That was disappointing. Played Nottingham Forest. Tough game that is, but when you see that Newcastle scored 3 goals, you'll be thinking, oh, he must have got something. No, he didn't. He went off after 79 minutes and yeah, he blanked overall. So it was really disappointing in that one as well. He is currently flagged as well. He's got a hip injury, it says on the FPL. But if you watched England last night, you would have seen he was pretty much fine. And I would have no worries about having him in my team for game week 12 against West Ham. And if you did bring him in, again, Newcastle's fixtures going forward, they're not exactly too bad at all going forward. I've only got 1 difficult fixture, I'd say, in the next 6 game weeks. So yeah, I do think he is worth having in your team going forward. He hasn't obviously been smashing it like he did last season. He's only got 2 goals and 1 assist so far this season. But Newcastle, you know, I do think they're going to have a good run coming soon. So he's definitely somebody I'd keep in my team if I had him. And finally, Cunha absolutely smashed it in game week 11, getting 12 points overall, getting the goal assist and the 3 bonus points against Southampton. He's a guy I've recommended twice now this season, and I really do think he's a must-have now. I've been leaning towards thinking about it, but now I generally do think this guy is a must-have in your team. He's only 6.8 million. He's a bargain. Yes, he's gone up in price, but he's still a bargain. 5 goals this season already after that fixture on Wolves have had is unbelievable. And now in the next 6 game weeks, he's playing the likes of Everton, Leicester, Ipswich. He is a must-have. So if you haven't got him in your team, get him, or else you're going to be missing out on 12 pointers like many people have already this season. On to the game week 12 transfers now, and the first player we've got near the defender is of course Cucurella of Chelsea. Now, if I knew Reece James was going to be playing week in, week out, staying fit, I would definitely be recommending Reece James, who's actually currently cheaper than Cucurella. He's gone down to 4.9. But he's not, unfortunately, and Cucurella is. He's definitely going to be starting week in, week out for Chelsea. Now, he's only got 2 clean sheets this season for Chelsea, and it's a bit disappointing that is. But looking forward, I mean, game week 12 specifically for Chelsea is pretty decent. They've got Leicester City away. That is pretty nice. Game week 13 is going to be a bit more tricky against Aston Villa. But then 14, we've got Southampton away. So that's 2 decent fixtures in the next 3 game weeks. The Spurs game could go anywhere, and then Brentford at home could also go anywhere. So you could say it's a mixed bag of fixtures, if I'm being honest. And he has been disappointed in the fact that he hasn't actually got any assists yet this season. But I'm targeting really more game week 12 and 14 if I was going for Cucurella. Obviously, you could go for a cheaper option for Chelsea, like Fofana or Levi Colwill at 4.5 million. But they, of course, are centre halves. But you never know; they could obviously get an header from a corner. But for me, I would just edge Cucurella. I mean, obviously, like I said, if Reece James was starting, I'd definitely go for him. But Cucurella, I think, would be a decent shout to go for. He's only 4.1% owned as well, so he's definitely a differential. So something maybe to look at going forward. But yeah, game week 12 for Chelsea is a great fixture, and I definitely wouldn't mind having a Chelsea defender for that fixture. So the midfield transfer I've got in here is Mitoma, by far my favourite transfer of the three I'm going to be recommending. He's 6.4 million, and the guy's actually gone down in price when I think he should be going up in price. It is absolutely insane because Brighton's fixtures, right, for the next 5 game weeks are amazing. Bournemouth away, Southampton at home, Fulham away, alright, that's going to be tricky. Leicester away and Crystal Palace at home. He's absolutely, I reckon, going to crush it in these next 5 game weeks. He's already got 3 assists and a goal this season, so that's 4 returns in 10 games. Not many people are looking at him. He's 5.2% owned currently right now. Bargain. Nobody's really looking at him. Let's say you've got maybe, who I'm thinking of, Smith Rowe or a Rodgers. Maybe you can transfer one of those guys out and bring in Mitoma, because this guy could absolutely smash it going forward. Because Brighton, attacking wise, are unbelievable. It's just defensively they're a bit poor, but attacking wise, they're unbelievable. These fixtures must have player to go for, in my opinion. If you're thinking about getting a midfielder for game week 12, get Mitoma in your team. And finally, Ollie Watkins is my final transfer in this game week. And boy, I do think we need to get on him. Currently 22% owned right now, so he is. Quite a few of you are looking at getting him in your team, but he hasn't gone up in price. He's still just 9 million. And boy, I think it's time to get him. He's just scored, obviously, in the international break for England. Aston Villa haven't now won in the last 4 games, I believe. So they need to go back firing. And it's a great time for them to come back. So when they return, they've got Crystal Palace at home. They'll smash that. Chelsea away, they'll smash Chelsea, I think. Brentford can see goals left, right and centre. Southampton are getting relegated. Nottingham Forest, you could say that's a tricky one. But I think by then, I think Aston Villa will be fine against them. But we'll have to see, because that is like a Midland derby game. So that's probably the only tricky one. Yeah, you could say Chelsea, but Crystal Palace at home, Brentford at home, Southampton at home. Great fixtures. I think he's definitely somebody you've got to get for those fixtures. Like I said, he's just scored for England. He's already scored 5 goals for Aston Villa this season. He's got 2 assists on top of that. So that's 7 returns and 11 starts for Aston Villa. Got to go for him. Yes, he is pricey at 9 million. You're going to have to possibly take a player out. I know, obviously, a lot of people are looking at selling Erling Haaland. If you're going to sell Erling Haaland, you get Ollie Watkins in your team along with Isak, in my opinion. Just going to throw that one out there. But yeah, get Ollie Watkins in your team if you're going to be getting rid of Erling Haaland. That is for sure. So that's it then for this video. Those are the 3 players I'm going to be recommending to you for game week 12. Cucurella, Mitoma, Ollie Watkins. My favourite by far is definitely Mitoma, but Ollie Watkins is definitely a close second. Cucurella, I think, will be a decent shout to go for, especially with the likes of Leicester and Southampton coming up for Chelsea. But by far, Mitoma is my guy for this game week to recommend. Hopefully he does smash it, because I look like a tit now if he fails completely in game week 12. But yeah, that is it then for this video. Let me know what you think of those 3 players that I'm recommending. Let me know what players you think I should be looking at instead, and what players you guys are going for game week 12. And before you leave, please do not forget to like this video, smash the subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.